for this Gilbertville Don Bosco. They walked away with it. That's the standing as we look at it right now. Looks like Sigourney in there tough for second place. We're going to 138 pounds now. Back to wrestling. Double A is our first match. That's the one we're going to follow all the way through. In the maroon on the right is Shawn Voigt of Mount Vernon. And in the blue, Steve Rogers of Iowa City, Regina, undefeated with one tie this year. Double A. And in our other matches, 1A, Gus Roberts of Wapsie Valley Fairbank against Lane Billings, undefeated from Nora Springs, Rock Falls. And at 3A, Charles City's Rick Lynch goes against Bettendorf's Bill Hansen for the title. We'll check up our nose as they go along. But here we are in the purple, in the maroon is Shawn Voigt of Mount Vernon. He has 8 losses this year.
Well, 3 of them have been to this guy right here. He's got 3 losses to Steve Rogers from Iowa City, Regina. And they would like to change that string around right now. And this is the match to do it in, I'm sure. You know, Shawn Voigt has only won one match, or excuse me, one tournament in all the wrestling that he's done all the way through high school. He has one tournament win, the conference in 1984. The rest of them, he's always been second. But wouldn't it be nice to have a guy that's this good, you know, that's always getting second in tournaments to be on your team? You know, he's got one loss to Lynch, who's in the finals over here from Charles City. One loss to Hansen, the guy from Bettendorf, is over here in the finals in 3A, both of those boys. And then 3 losses here to Rogers. So he wrestles good people, and as a result, here he is in the finals of this 1985 championship.
And Rogers is a defending champion. Well, actually, he came up from 32, but he was first last year in the Double A 132-pound class, and he finished 6th when he was a freshman at 112.
Well, Rogers would like to throw. I mean, he's got a lot of background in the upper body techniques. But when you wrestle somebody 3 or 4 times, as he has here, I would imagine that you'll see a little bit more of a low-level attack, kind of give his opponent, Shawn Voigt, a different feel, and maybe give him a low level in order to try to open him up for an upper level attack later on. Nothing in the first period. They went scoreless for the first 2 minutes.
And into the second, Voigt will start on top. This is Voigt of Mount Vernon.
Well, Voigt likes to use the legs if he can. He's a pretty good rider, and he likes to use the legs, but sometimes when they've had this much experience against each other, his coach told me he's going to just try to change off a little bit, not always leg him all the time. Here's the legs again. But you see, Rogers just pops that leg free out of there
and goes ahead 1-0. Rogers of Iowa City, Regina, in the blue. He seems to control the tie-up.
Well, they're in this position, neither man is really being very aggressive. And, I would think that would be one of those situations where they heard a whistle on the other mat, and Shawn Voigt from Mount Vernon just kind of stood up and looked at the referee. Steve Rogers wasn't paying any attention. He saw him move his hand, so he just hit a double and took him down with it.
And it's 3-0. 3-0 in favor of Rogers. Controlling his man, Voigt, from the top. He has a 3-point lead.
Well, he's got a lot of experience. You know, in his wrestling room, he catches some of those ex-Iowa wrestlers who have student teaching, or they're working in town. They just want to work out and help some boys. So I'm sure he's had some opportunities to wrestle with some of the other people.
Yeah. Don't stop until you hear my whistle, okay? Keep wrestling. I'll be sure that you stop.
That's referee Dwight Spangler from DeWitt. Over at 1A, it's Lane Billings of Rock Falls, leading 3-1 over Gus Roberts of Wapsie Valley Fairbank. Right at the end of the second period.
Well, in the 3A match, Bill Hansen from Bettendorf's winning 7-1 now over Rick Lynch from Charles City.
And here at 2A, we see Rogers of Iowa City, Virginia in the blue 3-1, leading over Shawn Voigt of Mount Vernon, who scored an escape. His first point.
We're into that last period. Now is the critical time.
They just start the last period. Voigt is down. Rogers begins up. Voigt's a junior. Rogers is a senior.
Voigt likes to stand up. He wants to get to his feet. If the man locks tight on him, then he uses a switch. And if he doesn't, he likes to use this whizzer you see him in right now, because he can throw out of there. If the man stays in too tight, he can use that position to throw.
It's a one-point match now because Voigt's behind now, only 3-2.
Now, both men, as I indicated, have some freestyle experience. They do like upper body. They've been here with each other. It'll be interesting to see if they stay here and go with it, or if they just waste time. Came close, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It's 3-2 with about a minute and a half to go.
It's like they're testing each other to see if they can or not, and what one man's going to have to do is go ahead and hit it.
Voigt went after a leg on an outside single, but the leg wasn't there when he got there.
Well, they wrestle close, so it'll be interesting to see. You know, these have been 2 points and 1 point. You know, matches won overtime, so they're fairly evenly matched.
The referee thinks they're going to have to get active here. He doesn't like that position. Stalemate, he calls it.
After each other.
Referee Spangler puts him back up in the middle. 3-2. The man on the left leads by 1. The man in blue, Steve Rogers, undefeated this year with 1 tie.
Back in on a double now. Nice. He countered him out, then came right back in on his own shot. That's going to be a matter of who can control whose hips right here. You see Voigt in. Puts him down. Good hip control.
Good call there, Chuck. That was, he lost his hips, and he now goes up 4-3. It's Voigt leading Rogers.
Well, he's not in good position here, sitting on his hips. He's going to have to try to improve this and either get a stalling or stalemate call in order to get out of it, because he don't wants to sit there in his hips.
Well, he got one almost as good. He got a potentially dangerous call.
So now watch him try. Right now, he's going to try. Right now, Steve Rogers tried to whip himself over, and Voigt from Mount Vernon just controlled the hip position.
Our live action again, and Voigt leads by 1 with only 13 seconds
Not much time, but he doesn't want to let those arms get free. He's got to try to keep the arms under control, take his man back to the mat. There's 6 seconds to go on 1-point lead.
A lot of noise.
Shawn Voigt.
A lot of noise down on that mat. Here's Rogers underneath. He is 1 point behind with 5 seconds to go.
Well, he picked the ankle to stop the move, and that should win it for him.
And he did. But Mount Vernon has a state champion. Shawn Voigt lost 8 times this year, but he went through the tournaments without a scar.
Well, that's got to be a real happy position. You know, you feel sorry for a guy like Steve Rogers, who's a defending champion. He's coming in undefeated. Wrestled the guy 3 or 4 times, but part of that, Doug, is the fact that when you go so many times against somebody, they know what you do.
Shawn Voigt wins it by a score of 4-3 in a dandy. We're going to go over
Cedar Rapids Prairie, so they may be taking home some medal.
Of Mount Vernon.
This is 2A.
6th place, Scott Atchison, Cascade. 5th place, Sean Ellingson, Nevada. 4th place, Craig Lyons, Atlantic. 3rd place, Monty Andreessen, Audubon. 2nd place, Steve Rogers, Iowa City, Regina. And the 2A 138-pound champion from Mount Vernon, Shawn Voigt.
And he won a thriller to get his championship. He came from behind. Never say die.
Yes, after losing 3 times during the year, that's another